Hello everyone, this is Palak Chittlangia and this is a video about my GE-PI experience with SIBM Pune. So my GE-PI was held on 9th of February 2025. My login time was 6:30 a.m. but the meeting did not start till 7:30. So I highly recommend joining the Telegram group that they send on the link with your meeting details so that you do not panic and you know there are other students who are also in the waiting room. They have an application portal on which the Zoom link shows up. They do not send it to you on the mail, so make sure you know where this link is. They will share a video on the email itself where they will explain how you can access the link. So watch that video and access the required link. On the link itself, for me, it said that it will be activated at 7 a.m. So I was not expecting much from 6:30 to 7, but the meeting started at exactly 7:30. That's when we were allowed inside the meeting and we entered the main lobby. It was done through the Zoom meeting platform, all online. Medium was English, and the number of students were more than 120. So there were approximately 145 participants on the Zoom link, and 25 of them were mostly assistants, panelists, students, faculty members. But approximately 120 of them were students. The whole process takes place in a lot of parts actually. The first being your attendance and verification, and then there's 4 different parts, and in the end you submit a feedback form for the process. So for attendance and verification, again, like in all Symbiosis interviews, you'll be asked to rename yourself according to the naming convention. This will be mentioned on the email or on your call letter. If not, they will explain to you in the beginning. So please rename yourselves. After that, they will ask for verification of 3 documents: your ID proof, your SNAP admit card, and your SIBM Pune GE-PI call letter. Once you've shown all 3, they will show you a few videos. The first would be the regular Symbiosis video of Dr. Muzumdar and how he was inspired to come about Symbiosis University. And one video was shown to us from the aspirations relation team, which was helping us navigate through the entire process of GE-PI. And the third video is from the director. So the director of SIBM Pune has a note recorded basically, which will be played. It's approximately 20 minutes long. It's very useful though. If you pay attention to it, any questions related to why do you want to choose SIBM Pune, what is better about it, things like that, it can be easily answered. They talk about everything from their placements to the different clubs and committees that are in place at SIBM Pune, and several other factors why it is better than a lot of the other universities, what is different about it, the kind of courses it offers. So it's a very useful video. Once the video is over, the director himself was present in the meeting, so we were allowed to ask any questions that we had. This is all while I guess the panelists are arranging everything else, and the students are making breakout rooms for the process. Once this is done, you move on to the second part, which is the group exercise. So this was an extremely sophisticated process. So was the entire SIBM GE-PI. It is conducted entirely by the students, and you are automatically pulled out of breakout rooms into new breakout rooms. And this will happen several different times. They have a helpline number that you can reach out to. It is active on WhatsApp as well. They also have students throughout the process helping you navigate. And if you by any chance exit the meeting, you can join the same link, you'll end up in the main room, the lobby. Again, you'll have to rename yourself, and they will allot you to your specific breakout room that you're supposed to be in at that point of time. Coming to the group exercise, so in my group there were 10 students. Um, this is a mix of guys and girls. We were given a problem statement. In our case, it was the wastage of food, so heavy wastage of food. And we were given four solutions with the problem. Some of them were, for example, keeping the food in cold storage to help save it, or giving the surplus to animals or to the underprivileged. Similarly, there were four solutions, and we were given a matrix. This is a 4 by 4 matrix, as you can see on the screen. It is to define feasibility and importance. So, for example, the first box would mean high feasibility, low importance. Second box would mean high feasibility, high importance. The first box in our meeting was called A, and the last box, that is low feasibility, high importance, was called D. We had to arrange these solutions in this 4 by 4 matrix and prioritize between A and D. Which one would be our solution, priority solution, basically. Once you're given approximately 2 minutes to think, and then the process starts. So it starts with 30-second individual points. You can talk about the solution you've chosen, the problem statement, and why you've chosen the specific solution. Why are you prioritizing it over everything else? After that, you get into the group discussion. Now, unlike other group exercises, in this case, you do not have to reach a common consensus, which is because there is a third part where you will individually conclude within 30 seconds after the group discussion is over. So you can have different point of views and you can come to your own conclusion, irrelevant of the group's conclusion. It is wise here to differ from others, to defend your points, and at the same time understand what they're saying and add that to your own conclusion as well. The group discussion takes approximately 12 minutes, and because there are 10 people, you have to be wise. You have to make sure that you get your chance to speak because everyone will be active. SIBM Pune is one of the top colleges. So the students who are a part of this process are also extremely intellectual. They all have a lot of creative ideas. They know how to speak, how to defend their points very well. So make sure you're not staying behind. After the group discussion is over, like I said, you can conclude your uh, thing in 30 seconds. It'll be wise to allocate the four solutions in the matrix in your conclusion and talk about your priority solution and why. You can also give the step one, step two to these solutions and make sure to highlight if this is if it's in this case, it's a similar group exercise, then why you're choosing feasibility over importance or the other way around. Like, what difference does it make to do it your way? And you can, in your conclusion as well, counter some other points that other students have made if you do not get a chance to do that during the discussion. After this, you're again pulled out of this room, you enter the main lobby, then you're pulled out into your PI room. Before you enter the PI room, you are in this breakout room with the same group of 10 students you were in, and they will one by one take you to your document verification process. And then once that is done, so they ask you to have it arranged in a separate folder. They mainly ask for your 10th mark sheet, your 12th mark sheet, and your certificate for birth, and your transcript for your degree and the final degree certificate from your college. So have these documents prepared in a separate folder. Uh, One by one this process is done, and at the same time, like simultaneously, the PI is also being held for the participants who are not getting their documents verified. So you do not know which one will happen first. Just be prepared for either and make sure the students will tell you approximately how long it will take for your interview turn to come or your verification turn to come. just be active. At this point of time, we were allowed to turn our mics and video cameras off and take a break if we had to. Just make sure you're alert if your name is called. Throughout the process, they will not really address you by your first name. They will use your GPI ID to address you, mostly the last four digits. So be attentive of that and note down what your last four digits are. Moving on to the personal interview process, this one was definitely more grilling than the other interviews I'd given for Symbiosis. So it had two panelists, one male, one female. They start with simple personal questions. Tell me about yourself. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? Have you done any internships? What is your family background? What is your educational background? So on and so forth. Then they will ask you career questions. Again, there will be a lot of grilling at each step. So they might ask you follow-ups. Why do you want to pursue an MBA? Which specialization do you want to do? Say, I said HR. I'm leaning towards HR. It's always okay to say that you do not have a specialization in mind when you're applying to an MBA core program. Just make sure that you're telling them that you will, explore in the first year and you'll make an informed decision later. So once this is done, they will ask you some specific questions about what you've already answered. So in my case, given that I have a psychology degree, they asked me questions about the kind of norms that are followed. If you're a psychologist and you have a client, then what are some steps to take to ensure their privacy and security, and just ethical steps to take? For example, informed consent, confidentiality, anonymity, things like that. The interview first asked me, just to give you an example of how the grilling is done in this case. The male panelist asked me what my some of these norms and asked me to summarize them in 30 seconds, be precise and concise. So I did that. After my 30 seconds were over, I stopped speaking and he did not stop me. He did not ask a follow up either. So I asked him if he'd like me to elaborate further, and he told me that yes, continue speaking till I tell you to stop. I will be framing the next question till then. So until then, go on. So I have to keep going on and on about the norms. And again, there's a limit to it, but it's the limit to what I would remember, not to how many norms there are. There are obviously several norms. At this point, the female panelist intervened and said that she actually had a follow-up question to ask, but the main panelist stopped her and told her that no, he's doing it on purpose and he wants me to continue speaking about the norms. And I had to do so for approximately 2 minutes. After that, they finally switched to a different line of questioning. I mentioned gender as one of the subjects I'm interested in and one of the social constructs I like to talk about. So she asked me, what is the good way to address somebody if, let's say, there's a transgender woman, a male who recognizes as a transgender woman. How should I address them? What pronouns should I use? How do I ask them about it? So simple things like that. And as somebody who is interested in gender, I should know that. Then they talked about a case, so about how a lot of times there are women who are male by sex and participate in sports as a woman. And is that fair to the others? Talk about that. What would be a solution that you'd propose to this problem? Things like that. One of the unique questions the male panelist asked me was name three celebrities with the first name Palak. So if you have a unique name, make sure you know its meaning. If you have a common name, make sure you know people associated, um, people who are famous who go by the same name. So yeah, this was the personal interview. The document verification process that I was talking about, which will go on simultaneously, it's very simple. You keep the folder prepared, you show them, share your screen, you show them the documents. If they need anything else, they'll let you know. Otherwise, they have all the documents with them, they'll verify that. You just sit there and wait patiently. And once that's done, your process is finally over. You can go back to the main meeting. They will send you a link for the feedback form. You can give your feedback on how you liked the whole process of GEPI and then exit the meeting. So yeah, this is it for the GEPI with SIBM Pune. If you're appearing for the same, I hope you do well. Good luck.